Hello everybody, Internet back again with another video. Oh boy, Novak Djokovic is through to his 58th Master 1000 final. Yeah guys, Novak Djokovic is through to he will play the Rolex Master 1000 final in Paris against Grigor Dimitrov, and Novak will try to win his 40th Master 1000 title. That is insane, my tennis friends all around the world. Every time Novak plays a big final, plays a big final like Masters. Masters are the biggest tennis tournaments we have after the Grand Slams, of course. So winning Master 1000 titles is very difficult. They are almost as difficult as winning Grand Slams. Maybe even more difficult, because you know, guys, I talked about this before. The Grand Slams, we have big draws. We have 128 players there, and you will always get much easier opponents in the beginning of the tournaments in Grand Slams, just because the draws are big, than you get in the Masters, because the Masters you can get a high seed very quick in the tournament, which is not the case in Grand Slams. You can get lucky losers, you can get wild cards, you can get qualifiers, etc. in Grand Slams. So Djokovic is going for that. He's trying to win his 40th Master 1000 title on Sunday against Grigor Dimitrov. But I will talk about that match a little later. But the purpose to this video, first of all, I've not done videos for a long time. I've been extremely busy, my tennis fans all around the world. I really apologize about that. It is not easy for me doing videos like before. I don't know how many of you guys knows, but I have a wife, I have 4 kids, I have work, and when my mom was alive, she was helping me with a lot, with being babysitter. She was helping me with my kids a lot. And she took a big responsibility to help. Not responsibility. It is not the way that it is not what I mean, because my kids are my responsibility, not hers. But she was. How can I tell? In a family, nobody, at least in my opinion, nobody helps you like a mother does. Yeah. Of course, fathers can help, siblings can help, but they are not even close in helping like a mother do. When you lose a mother, so you guys who have your mothers alive out there, you really should appreciate them, because nobody loves you like a mother does. Period. So when she passed away, my life has changed a lot. I am much more busy, so I cannot do videos like I used to do, because I need to be a lot with my kids, a lot, which I needed to be before as well. But then my mother was helping me so much that I had a lot of free time. That is not the case anymore. I don't have so much free time, but sometimes I can do videos, and I felt that I need to do this video. It is middle of the night. It is now that I can do videos. I should be sleeping, to be quite honest, but I thought that I need to put this video out there. I need to share my opinions. And the video is about Djokovic. And when I do videos, always my videos are about big, how can I say it, videos that a lot of people talk about, topics that a lot of people talk about. And the topic to this video is, like you're reading, is that, is this a weak era, or is that it is Djokovic that is this good? All right, and I'm gonna come to my answer later in the video. What can we say? Djokovic, he doesn't need any presentation. We all know who this dude is, all right? The 24-time Grand Slam champion, of course, the record holder, the I believe soon 400 plus weeks world number one. He's still not in the 400 plus weeks. He's just 3-4 weeks behind that unbelievable stat. He has played 35 Grand Slam finals. Of course, that is also a record. So 39 Master 1000 titles, maybe soon 40 Master 1000 titles, etc, etc, etc. He has a lot of records to his name. Some of these records, I believe, will never be broken. Some of them maybe will be broken, because like you know, records are meant to be broken. And some of Novak's records will be broken, I believe, in the future, but not in the short period of time. It will take many years ahead for his records to be broken, at least some of them, but some of his records will never be broken, I believe. Anyway, Novak Djokovic, who is just coming back after not playing tennis for 6 weeks. Last time he played tennis was in Davis Cup for Serbia, a team event. Before that, it was US Open, where he won his 24th Grand Slam title. So he's not been playing tennis for 6-7 weeks. And he comes back after not being playing tennis for 6 weeks. He comes in Paris and wins 4 straight matches. He wins his first match in straight sets. Then he wins his second match against that Dutch guy Griekspoor in 3 sets. That Griekspoor guy gave Novak really a run for his money. So he was in pretty big danger there in that Griekspoor's match. And then after that, he's in big danger against Holger Rune as well. He wins a tough battle against Holger Rune, who went almost 3 hours, maybe even over 3 hours. And then after Holger Rune, he beats Andrei Rublev, a match that took over 3 hours, I believe 3 hours and 2 minutes. So Djokovic wins 3 consecutive matches in 3 sets against the Dutch guy Griekspoor, number 1 player in Netherlands, Griekspoor. And then he beats Holger Rune, number 1 player in Denmark. Holger Rune, who has not had a tremendous good year, at least not after Wimbledon. He has not shown some great results after Wimbledon, Holger Rune. But he has actually been playing good tennis since he hired Boris Becker. He played the semi-final in Basel, Holger Rune. And then he has been playing some really good tennis here in Paris, especially being serving really good. And we all know Holger Rune matches up good with Djokovic. He has defeated Djokovic in 2 straight matches. He defeated Djokovic in last year's Paris final. We all remember that, where Holger Rune did an unbelievable great run, maybe the greatest run ever, with 4 in winning. Not 4, I believe 5. Yeah, I believe 4 or 5, something like that. Defeating 4 or 5 top 10 players on his way to winning that Paris title last year. So he was a defending champion. And like I said, he matches up good with Djokovic. He's tough on the baseline. He's a good defender, pretty good serve, pretty good backhand. Holger Rune's issue is his forehand, according to me. But he has improved that forehand the last couple of weeks. At least he has made that forehand. He has cut down the unforced errors for his forehand wing, especially when he started to work with Boris Becker. So it was a better Holger Rune we have seen the last 3-4 weeks than what the case was before that. So he really played good against Djokovic. Despite that, Djokovic came on top and defeated Holger Rune in 3 sets. And then Rublev in the semi-final. Rublev, who played maybe his match of his life against Djokovic. At least according to Djokovic after the semi-final, he said that I have never faced this good Rublev before in my life. Never. It was off the charts. That was Novak's exactly words. Despite that, Djokovic defeats Rublev. And we are forgetting, and we are mentioning it, but we are kind of forgetting that all these dudes Djokovic is beating, Griekspoor, Rublev, Rune, Etcheverry, the first player, the only player that Djokovic has actually defeated in this year's Rolex Paris Masters in straight set, Etcheverry, which was in the first round, or second round, because Djokovic gets by because of his high ranking, but you know what I mean. All these players, all of them are younger than him. Djokovic can more or less not play players that are older than him, because majority of them are all retired. Majority of them. Not all of them, but majority of them. Djokovic, not that he's retired, he's not even retired. Majority of the players in Novak's generation already retired. Djokovic is not retired. He is still playing tennis on a very, very high level. He is still winning Grand Slams despite that he's in his mid-30s. He is still being the world number one and going for of the 400 plus weeks as world number one, despite that he still is one of the oldest players on the tour. And he's still going for that, which has a big chance, especially if he wins the final against Dimitrov. He's going for the year-end number one as 36 years old and becoming a year-end number one for the 8 times and extending that record, because he has that record with 7 times. He has a big chance, which I believe he will do, and become a year-end number one for the 8th time. Despite that he's one of the oldest players on the tour, and despite that he's not as young as the players that he is facing. We should not forget that tennis is a young man's sport, not an old man's sport. It is a young man's sport. And not to forget, he's beating players that is 16 years old, younger than him. Players that has a bright future ahead of them. And one of them has already won 2 majors, for God's sake, in his young age. And the player I'm talking about is Carlos Alcaraz. Djokovic has defeated Carlos Alcaraz 2 times already. And one of those times is in a major tournament, which he did a couple of months ago at French Open semi-final. Djokovic has played 4 Grand Slam finals this year as 36 years old. One of them is, he did that as 35 years old, because we all know in January, Djokovic is 35 years old, because we all know Djokovic's birthday is in May. 3 of these major finals he has played as 36 years old. French Open, Wimbledon, and US Open this year. And 2 of those Grand Slam finals he has won as 36 years old. French Open against Casper Ruud and US Open against Daniel Medvedev. He's beating players as Carlos Alcaraz, who is 16 years younger than Novak Djokovic, and who has already won 2 Grand Slam titles, and who has a bright future ahead of him. He beats Carlos Alcaraz in that Cincinnati final a couple of months ago, despite that Djokovic looked cooked in the first set and in the beginning of the second set. Despite that he looked exhausted, he still comes back and beats Carlos Alcaraz, a 16 years younger player than him. He beats Carlos Alcaraz despite that being 1 match point down in that, if I'm not mistaken, despite being one match point down in that second set tiebreak. And then Holger Rune, like I said, despite Holger Rune finding some great form of late, he still goes and beats him. I will be honest with you, before that match between Holger Rune and Novak Djokovic, I was really unsure and really confused and not sure who will win that match. I said to myself, Holger Rune has a big chance here. I really said that to myself. I was 50-50 who will win that match. And it was a 50-50 match. We all saw that. Some points here and there decided the winner. The same thing against Rublev. The same thing. I thought that it is... Rublev has defeated Djokovic only once in his career, and that was on clay. If Rublev should win Djokovic for the first time, should defeat Djokovic for the first time off clay, it is now or never. Because Djokovic is coming from a 6 weeks not playing tennis. Djokovic is not in his shape of his life. He was better in US Open, he was better in Cincinnati, he was better in French Open, he was better in Australian Open earlier this year. It is now Rublev has his chance. And, not to forget, Rublev is maybe playing his tennis of his life. And, I should not forget mentioning, Djokovic is having a stomach virus, where he has himself said, I've been more in the toilet than I've been in the tennis court practicing. I've had a really bad stomach virus. And I have issues with my physicality, and my fitness is not the greatest at the moment. Despite all this, Novak Djokovic, he's winning tennis matches against his younger players. Despite all this, Novak Djokovic is beating tennis players. Despite all this, Novak Djokovic is going to finals. Despite all this, Novak Djokovic is not losing early, like players like Alcaraz has done since US Open. Alcaraz has not been showing some great results since US Open. I'm not judging Alcaraz. He's only 20 years old. He has a hell of a time ahead of him if he can maintain healthy, which is not any certainty that it can be. To be healthy in this brutal sport, in a brutal high-level sport, no matter if it is tennis, soccer, like you in Europe call it, or football, like you in the United States call it, it is not. It is easier said than done. I'm not judging Alcaraz, but Djokovic is showing more consistency as 36 years old than a 20 years old player like Alcaraz, at least at the current moment. And now Novak Djokovic will have his ultimate test on Sunday. His ultimate test, at least this week, not in his career, I mean. This week, Novak will have his ultimate test in Grigor Dimitrov. Have we ever seen Grigor Dimitrov this good? Yeah, we have. In 2017, where Grigor Dimitrov had his best year in his career. Grigor Dimitrov has not been playing this good tennis in 6 years' time. Yeah, I know that you agree with me. He has not. He has not been this good, this strong, this powerful, this consistent in 6 years' time. The dude is barely not losing any first, second, or third rounds. He is going deep in almost every single tournament. It is fourth round appearances, it is quarterfinal appearances, it is semi-final appearances, and it is final appearances. He's taking care of business in every single tournament, Grigor Dimitrov. The only thing that is missing now, it is him winning his first title since 2017, when he won his biggest title in his career in that Me2 ATP Tour Finals against David Goffin. Despite Novak leading over Grigor Dimitrov 11-1 in the head-to-head, despite Novak beating Grigor Dimitrov in 9 consecutive matches, I don't give a damn about all this. Because it is a new Grigor Dimitrov we are seeing. It is a better Grigor Dimitrov we are seeing. It is a more consistent Grigor Dimitrov we are seeing. You have followed the tennis in Paris this week. Look what he did against Medvedev. Look what he did against Tsitsipas. Look what he did against Hurkacz. Grigor Dimitrov. All these three players that Grigor Dimitrov has defeated this week are not bad tennis players. Hurkacz, who has been playing some really good tennis and actually won Shanghai Masters. Hurkacz. Tsitsipas has not had a great year, no, but he has been playing some really good tennis, at least here in Paris. So, Grigor Dimitrov and Medvedev, we all know what Medvedev is capable of. The dude has won 20 freaking tennis titles. And speaking about tennis titles, players like Medvedev with 20 tennis titles, players like Alexander Sasha Zverev with 21 tennis titles, that is not bad. That is not bad. These two players, Zverev and Medvedev, these are not weak tennis players. Are they great? At least not Zverev. You know my opinion. As long as you don't win Grand Slam titles, I don't call you great. But Medvedev has won at least one Grand Slam title, so I should call him great, and I call him great. Great players win Grand Slam titles. But Zverev is not bad. And Djokovic has been fighting with these players. Zverev, 20 tour titleist. He has won 20 titles. 21. Medvedev, he has won 20 titles, and one of them is a Grand Slam title. Carlos Alcaraz, a superstar, according to me. He really is good. Despite him being bad the last couple of weeks, especially after the US Open, we cannot write him off. He has plenty of time ahead of him. Holger Rune, he's not as good as Carlos Alcaraz, but he also has a bright future ahead of him, especially if he can play this good like he did in Paris. He has potential. He's a big, strong dude. He has a good first serve. He has a good backhand. The only thing he needs to improve, he's good at the net, Holger Rune. He needs to improve his forehand. If he can improve his forehand more and more, he will be a super dangerous player in the future. Grigor Dimitrov, he has only won 8 titles in his career. That is a miracle, according to me. How this good tennis player like Grigor Dimitrov, how in hell has he managed to win only 8 tennis titles in his career, Grigor Dimitrov? It is unbelievable. One of the reasons, a big one, of course, the answer to that is because of the big three: Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and Rafa Nadal. You have to, you, me, everybody in the world, we need to realize players like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, they don't come around every single 5 years or 10 years. They don't come. They don't. What they have done, it is unbelievable. It is off the charts. It is outrageous. So, Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal, they have killed a lot of tennis careers. A lot. Grigor Dimitrov is one of them whose tennis career has been killed because of these three. Other names I can mention is Söderling, Tsonga, Cilic, Del Potro. You think a player like Del Potro, who has a big potential, he would have won only one Grand Slam title if he was not around a place like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic? Of course not. These three are a big reason why he only won one Grand Slam title, Del Potro. And another reason is he was injured a lot. Another player who has been, he has had the biggest punishment from this golden era, from this murderous era, from the best era of all time in Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal is Andy Murray. You honestly believe Andy Murray would have won only 3 Grand Slam titles if it was not that he played in the toughest era of all time with Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic? The dude has won 46 titles. Do you know how big of a number that is to win 46 titles? That is how many titles Andy Murray has won. He has played 11 Grand Slam finals, Andy Murray. 11. 10 of them has been against Djokovic and Federer. 10 of them. The only Grand Slam final Andy Murray has played who has not been named Djokovic or Federer has been against Milos Raonic in Wimbledon 2016, which he defeated Milos Raonic in straight sets. So let's come to the conclusion here. Is this a weak era we are seeing, or is that Novak Djokovic is just too good? My answer is that Novak Djokovic is just too good, my friends. What Novak Djokovic is doing is not normal. He's not. He is scary consistent. Is he as good as before? No, he still is not as good as before. He's still not. Look at the returns. His returns are really not as good as before. Look at a player like Rune. He won, I believe, 62 of the points behind the second serve. You don't see that a lot. You don't see Djokovic in his peak years where players won 62% of the points behind the second serve. Djokovic never allowed his opponents winning over 60% of the points behind the second serve. That's what Holger Rune did to Djokovic in that quarterfinal. He won 62% of his second serves. The same Rublev in the semifinal, I believe Rublev won 57 of the points behind the second serve, 57%. That is not a Djokovic from his best days. Djokovic from his best days, say 5-10 years ago, they didn't win. His opponents never won over 50% behind the second serve. Never is maybe to exaggerate, but it didn't happen a lot. Now it happens to Djokovic more and more. Why? Because he's not returning as good as he did before. He's not punishing his opponents immediately on the returns like he did before. He's still making a lot of returns in play, but they are not as consistent, as precise, as deep, as hard, as powerful as they used to be before. But despite all this, he's still playing good enough tennis to win more matches than he's losing. So, many of them are saying that this is the weakest era of tennis. No, this is not. Just because of 35, 36 years old, Djokovic is 36, but I mean that he was 35 in the beginning of the year. Just because that Djokovic is winning majors still in his older days, in his mid-30s, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's playing in the weakest era of tennis. No, I don't agree. Players like Medvedev, Zverev, Alcaraz, Rune, even Dimitrov, for God's sakes, they are not horrible tennis players. They are not even weak tennis players. Djokovic consistency, which is outrageous, is making them look weak. That's it. Even though Djokovic is not at his peak of his career, but he's still playing good enough tennis to just cross that finish line, especially when the chips are down, especially when the big points arrives. It is him who is pushing that don't miss button, and it is him who is prevailing. They are coming closer. They are doing, at least in this Paris tournament, where he's losing sets, which he has done in three out of 4 matches that he has won so far in Paris, but they are still not beating him. And now Novak's ultimate test, according to me, at least in this Paris tournament this week, comes against Grigor Dimitrov, who is playing his best tennis in 6 years. And if Novak even beats Grigor Dimitrov on Sunday, which he has a big chance to do, because it is Novak Djokovic we're talking about, but it will be a close battle, I think, because it is now or never for Grigor. It is now or never. And if Novak even beats Grigor Dimitrov on Sunday, because Dimitrov is playing maybe his best tennis of his life, at least as good as he played in 2017. And if this Novak beats even Grigor Dimitrov, after that playing tennis for 6 weeks, after having stomach virus and not having the greatest preparation for this tournament, and if Djokovic beats even this Grigor Dimitrov, then how in hell can you say that Novak Djokovic is playing in a weak era? No, I don't agree. I think I think that is not correct. it is not Novak Djokovic who's playing in the weakest era. It is Djokovic that is just unbelievable. He's just that good. He's just that good. I don't know if you guys agree or not agree. What we are seeing with Djokovic, because this video is becoming real long, what we are seeing with Djokovic is not normal. It's not. Even Nadal himself has admitted, and I agree with Nadal. I agree. He's not wrong. He has said that, I believe that Novak will win Grand Slams this year. I believe that in the beginning of the year, but I really don't believe he will win 3. Can we? Is not the Spaniard right? Is not the Spaniard right? Of course he is. How many of us believe that he will win 3 Grand Slam titles this year? And when I say believe, do you know what believe means? Believe means when you truly believe it. To say, yeah, he maybe wins 3, that is not when you truly believe it. When you truly believe something, you even go and bet money because you're truly believing it. Would many of you out there bet money in the beginning of the year that Djokovic will go ahead this 2023 season and win 3 Grand Slam titles in his mid-30s? No, not many. Yeah, some of you believed. I really believe. I'm convinced of that some of you out there believe that he will win 3. I don't think it's many. I don't think. Even Djokovic himself, I don't think he was great. I don't think he was super convinced that in the beginning of the year, you know what? When the Grand Slam season is over, which is the Grand Slam season is over, we don't have any more Grand Slams this year, I will go and win 3 Grand Slam titles. If somebody would have said to Djokovic in the beginning of the year, here Novak, we have a paper here, take the pen and write your name that you will win 3 Grand Slam titles. He would have, this 2023 season, he would have taken that immediately. Immediately! He would not let the chance slip from him at all. Not for 1 second. And the proof to that, I'm going to tell you the proof. Before Novak started this Paris tournament, after his big pause that he had for 6 weeks not playing tennis, at least not in a competitive way, because he has been playing tennis in the practice court, of course. He said that I will play 3 more tournaments before my season is over. I will play Paris Master Tournament, I will play the ATP Tour Finals in Turin, and I will play the Davis Cup. If I met my goals, do you know what he said? You probably have heard this. My goal is that to at least win one of these events, one, it doesn't say 2 or 3, to at least win one of these 3 events, Paris Master 1000, ATP Tour Finals in Turin, or the Davis Cup, and to end the season as world number 1. That's what he said. He knows how difficult this is. He knows that. And as older he becomes, it just becomes tougher and tougher, because no one wins forever. No one wins forever. But him still winning and going deep in tournaments. He's going deep in every single tournament, for God's sakes. The only one, he has not made the quarterfinal this season in only one tournament, Novak Djokovic, in the 2023 season. He has not made the quarterfinal in only one tournament this 2023 season, and that is the Monte Carlo. That is the only tournament where he has gotten knocked out before the quarters. All the other tournaments, Djokovic has made the quarters or further than the quarters, semis, finals, or winning them. Do you know how scary consistent that is? Do you know? Despite this, he said that if I win one tournament from Paris, Master 1000, Turin, ATP Finals, or the Davis Cup, I am satisfied. Because he knows how difficult it is. He knows. Because it is him who is playing the tennis matches. It is not me, you and me. It is him. He is known it. Because he knows that how difficult it is. He knows how difficult it is to cross that finish line. He can feel it. And he can feel that as older he gets, as more difficult it is. That's why many people out there seems to believe that he will get to 30 Grand Slam titles. I don't think so. If he gets to 30 Grand Slam titles, that is outrageous. Then he will be the overwhelming, with no competition at all, the greatest athlete of all time. Athlete. It will not be even close. I don't want to hear any discussion. Phelps, Jordan, Muhammad Ali, some other greats from other sports, which I've maybe forgotten. I don't want to hear any other names in the discussion, because if he wins 30 Grand Slam titles, then he will be the overwhelming, with no competition, the greatest athlete of all time. Athlete. Because it will not be easy. It will not be easy. I still believe he has 1 or 2 more Grand Slam titles in him. That is my feeling. But to win 30, no. Maybe he can do. Never know with Novak. Maybe he can do. But to win 30, in this late in his career, it will only become tougher and tougher and tougher. Nothing becomes easy for Novak now. Nothing. Novak is pretty good in Paris. He has won this tournament 7 times. 6 times, 6 times. So, and you have seen it himself, how difficult he has had winning matches. He won only the first match in straight set. All the other 3, he won in 3 sets. So what Djokovic is doing, it is not normal. It is really not normal. His consistency is unbelievable. It is just outrageous. It is impeccable. So the argument that Novak is playing in a weak era in his older days, I really don't agree with that. I don't agree. The tennis player that he's beating, I've mentioned their names. Maybe some of them I've forgotten. Despite they playing their match of, some of them playing the match of their lives, like Rublev did in semifinals. Despite that, they are still coming short. They are still coming short. Why? Because Novak just plays the bigger points better. He just pushes that don't miss button. He just goes in that don't miss mode and just wins the bigger points and just wins the tennis match. He's not crushing his opponents anymore, at least not outside the majors. But he still is winning. He still is winning, and this is not normal. A 36 years old should not beat his opponents that are 10 to 15, 16 to 10 to 15, 16 years younger than him this many times. That is not normal. Djokovic should lose much more than he's doing. Much more. And we are taking this for granted. We are taking this for granted. It is Novak Djokovic, the greatest tennis player of all time. He should win all the tournaments that he's played. No, he should not. Tennis is not a young man's sport. I'm sorry. Tennis is not an old man's sport. That's why, to me, it is crazy that Djokovic has been managed to win 12 Grand Slam titles in his mid-30s, as much as he won in his mid-20s. He has won 12 Grand Slam titles in his mid-20s, and he has won 12 Grand Slam titles in his mid-30s. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. And he's not as good as before. He's really not. He's, like I said, he's not returning as good as before. He's not moving as good as before. Heck, for God's sake, he's not even serving as good as before. He's not. If you look at the match against Holger Rune, he served 52% first serve in. I don't remember when Djokovic has landed this little first serve in and still winning. Why does he do that? Because he's such a fighter. He's so consistent on the baseline, and when he just fights, he never gives up, and he outgrinds the opponents. He outlasts his opponent, despite he's looking exhausted time to time in the matches. Despite that, he just outlasts his opponents that are 10 to 15, 16 years younger than him. And just because Djokovic is still winning tennis matches and still playing very high level of tennis, even though he's 36 years old, that doesn't mean this is a weak era. At least not to me. That is not the reason. The reason is we have never seen a tennis player that is as good as Novak Djokovic. All respect to Federer, all respect to Nadal, but Djokovic is better than those two. He's better than those two. The numbers are not lying. The numbers are not lying, and that's why he's still successful. He knows that he's on the end of the road. He doesn't have many left years at this top level of tennis. He knows that. But he will play tennis till he loses more and more. The final against Dimitrov will be the ultimate test for Novak Djokovic, who will win that battle. That match can go either way. That can go either way. Either way. Grigor Dimitrov will have all the chances in the world because Grigor Dimitrov is playing the match, the tennis of his life for at least since 2017. He's not played tennis this good in 6 years' time. I usually never go against Djokovic. I usually don't do, and I will not do this time either. But I will not give Djokovic much. I will give Djokovic the slightest edge. Slightest edge. I will say Djokovic 51%. He will win the match, and Grigor Dimitrov 49%. So I will say Djokovic wins in 3 sets. But I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced, and I'm not confident at all. I'm not. If Grigor wins, that will be more or less expected. It is now or never for Grigor. It is now or never. But I will say Djokovic wins in 3 sets. I will give Djokovic the slightest edge. The slightest edge. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, see you next time. Peace.